What happens when two boys raised in the same house by the same guardian in the same world choose two entirely different ways to survive it? The Boondocks give us more than satire. It hands us a psychological mirror of what it means to grow up in a system that doesn't protect you, guide you, or truly see you. At the heart of it all is the complex relationship between Huey and Riley Freeman. One wields fists, the other wields philosophy, but both are fighting the same war. Their dynamic isn't just comedy gold or brotherly banter. It's layered with emotional defense mechanisms, fractured identity development, unresolved trauma, and a bond forged in fire, not tenderness. This is a breakdown of siblinghood molded by cultural contradictions, survival instincts, and generational pain. Today on Sight Screen Perspectives, we're decoding the Freeman brothers, one philosophy, one punch at a time. Huey and Riley are written as archetypal opposites. Huey, named after Huey P. Newton, is calm, brilliant, and revolutionary-minded. Riley, influenced by gangster rap and black pop culture, is impulsive, emotionally reactive, and fame-obsessed. On the surface, they appear as two ends of a spectrum, but psychologically, they are variations of the same womb. They both grew up in Chicago, an environment that likely exposed them to systemic neglect, violence, and fractured masculinity. When they moved to the suburbs of Granddad, played by the late great actor and comedian John Witherspoon, their environment changes, but their trauma doesn't. Instead, it shows up in new forms. Huey becomes hypervigilant and emotionally guarded. Riley becomes louder, more performative, and more chaotic. These behaviors aren't random. They're coping mechanisms. Huey intellectualizes his trauma, Riley embodies it. Their relationship can be viewed through the lens of attachment theory. Both brothers display behaviors shaped by inconsistent caregiving. Granddad, while physically present, is emotionally unavailable, often more interested in his own life than theirs. Huey responds with avoidant attachment. He rarely seeks comfort or validation and instead internalizes a belief that he can only rely on himself. He plays the role of protector, even at the cost of his own emotional expression. Riley, on the other hand, shows signs of anxious or disorganized attachment. He craves validation but often pushes people away with defiance and aggression. His need to be seen manifests in reckless behavior and exaggerated bravado. He picks fights, starts drama, and idolizes toxic masculinity, not because he's bad, but because he's unsure where he fits in a world that's already labeled him. Together, their attachment styles clash, but they also compensate for each other. Riley pushes boundaries because, in a way, he knows Huey will always pull him back. Huey critiques Riley because it's the only language he knows to express concern. Both brothers wear emotional armor. For Huey, his defense is intellectualization. He uses knowledge, logic, and political theory to shield himself from emotional vulnerability. His revolutionary mindset is rooted in genuine awareness, but it also protects him from the grief, abandonment, and fear he may not feel safe enough to express. Riley leans into projection and displacement. He channels his internal confusion into external rebellion. He mocks emotion, disrespects authority, and clings to distorted images of power. His gangster persona isn't just a performance. It's a psychological suit of armor to hide a soft, scared child who doesn't feel protected by the world. Their constant arguments, the tension between street and scholar, aren't about who's right. They're manifestations of emotional pain filtered through contrasting defense mechanisms. The deeper truth, they're both afraid of being unprotected, unheard, or unworthy. Huey, as the older brother, assumes a parentified role. Without dependable adult guidance, he steps in as the moral compass, protector, and unspoken guardian. This burden forces him to mature prematurely. He reads the world critically because he has to. If he doesn't, who will keep Riley safe? Riley, the younger brother, adopts the role of the wild child. He knows Huey is the anchor, so he becomes the storm. But under that chaos is a quiet desire for boundaries, for safety. Psychologically, Riley often tests Huey, not to push him away, but to prove that someone will still be there when he self-destructs. This is a textbook dynamic between siblings with emotionally absent caregivers. The over-functioning one becomes stoic, the under-functioning one becomes loud. But here's the twist. Neither is truly free. Huey suppresses his emotional needs. Riley performs a distorted self-image. Both are prisoners of their roles, created not by choice but by necessity. Riley's obsession with gang culture, bling, and bravado is a clear example of social learning theory. He imitates what he sees in the media, assuming that dominance, violence, and money are the pathways to power and respect. Without emotional support or positive male figures, Riley clings to these images as survival strategies. Huey, meanwhile, resists cultural conditioning through critical consciousness. He watches the same media, but filters it through political and sociological frameworks. Where Riley mimics the system, Huey questions it, but even that questioning has a cost. Huey is often emotionally isolated. No one, not even his brother, truly meets him on an intellectual or emotional level. Their arguments about rap, politics, and race aren't just about ideologies. They're battles between programming and resistance, and beneath it all, there's a shared sadness. They are both trying to navigate an identity in a world that mislabels them before they even speak. The show's exploration of black masculinity is central to understanding Huey and Riley's relationship. Both boys are taught directly or indirectly that emotions are liabilities. Huey chooses to suppress his. Riley chooses to weaponize his. Either way, neither of them feels safe simply feeling. Their brotherhood becomes a space where masculinity is performed, not explored. They don't talk about love, they show it through action. Huey protects Riley from harm. Riley, when Huey is in danger, becomes uncharacteristically vulnerable. These rare moments, the broken voice, the soft eyes, the hesitation, reveal a profound emotional truth. They love each other deeply, but don't know how to say it in a world that never taught them how. This inability to emotionally communicate is not a flaw. It's a result of systemic neglect and cultural messaging that says survival is more important than softness. Their brotherhood becomes both a shield and a silent scream for safety. Despite the arguments, fights, and opposing worldviews, Huey and Riley love each other, but that love is coded, hidden behind sarcasm, lectures, and insults. Huey rarely compliments Riley, but he always steps in when Riley is in trouble. Riley rarely listens, but deep down he seeks Huey's approval more than anyone else's. Their relationship is a blueprint for how trauma bonds siblings in unconventional ways. They don't need words, they operate on energy, protection, and proximity. The physics, that's Riley's language. The philosophy, that's Huey's. But both are saying the same thing in different ways. I need you. I got you. Don't leave me out here alone. As viewers, we often laugh at their fights, but beneath the comedy is a raw truth about black boyhood, brotherhood, and a desperate search for safety in a world that rarely gives it freely. From physics to philosophy, the Freeman brothers shows us that siblinghood is more than just blood. It's shared pain, contrasting personalities, and a quiet, unshakable loyalty that refuses to let go. Huey and Riley may live in constant disagreement, but they're united by something deeper, a love that was never taught to express itself in words, only in protection. So the next time you watch the Boondocks, don't just listen to what they say, watch how they stay, because beneath every punchline is a pulse, and behind every fight is a bond that's unbreakable.